Hello, welcome to another out-of-the-box miniature painting episode. This one I'm going to touch on undercoating. Now, there's a couple of different ways to undercoat depending on what type of plastic that's being used and everything like that. What I'm using is what you see in front of you. I've got a couple of primers here and I've got some GW sprays that are there as well. Now, one thing that GW spray is not is a primer. So that's why you need these, especially when it comes to a 3D printing model. So to give you a bit of an idea, this one here is a GW plastic. I don't know the science behind it, but GW plastic is amazing to the point where you can literally just slap paint on it without even actually putting an undercoat on there. These guys here, these are 3D printed. So resin printing needs to have a primer. Otherwise the paint's just going to slip off afterwards. So what I do with that is I've got a black primer and I've got a grey primer. For beginners, I suggest that you use a black primer. Black primers themselves are very, very forgiving. They dry really quickly, and it doesn't matter whether or not you spray it 20 centimeters away, it doesn't matter whether you spray it right up close. Black always tends to work out. So, without further ado, I'll get stuck into it. Okay, so I've got my models all lined up there. Now, what I need, first off, obviously, is you need your spray. This particular spray I've got here is a Dulux etch primer, only 20 bucks, and it comes from Throw the Dice here in Geelong. Amazing suppliers of this particular product and also other, and that's where else I got the models from as well. What you also need is baking paper, non-stick, to lay the models on, because when you start spraying it, you want to rest it somewhere so it's not going to stick. Baking paper is great for that. What you also need is a glove. A lot of people use a stick to be able to put things on, but I prefer to actually be able to hold them up. So what I do is I leave them on the baking paper first, I'll spray it all up, and then once I've sprayed, I'll actually pick up the models individually and spray them as well. So let's see how this goes. Spray at the front, then turn them all around. Again, just turn and have a look at the bits that you may have just missed. Okay, from there, what you want to do now is pick up each individual one. Have a look to see underneath. Everybody forgets the parts that are underneath, so I don't know if you can see it in this one. There's still some grey underneath. That's why you've got the glove. You can just spray it underneath. There we go, then put that to the side to dry. And repeat. Okay, so I've let these guys dry for about 5 to 10 minutes now. You could probably go a bit longer, maybe to a half an hour to an hour. Sometimes you can even let it go overnight, depending on how wet you actually do get the models. As I said, black is very, very forgiving. But what I'm going to do with this particular guy here, he's actually a troll that has a flame on top of his head. So just to speed up the process of painting when I go to paint, especially the flame part of it, I'm going to spray him over the top with this Citadel wraithbone color. What Citadel wraithbone has on it is it's a white but with a very yellow tone to it, so it's already reaching that fire look to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him what's called a zenithal highlight, and that basically means is I'm just going to spray the top. So what I want to do is I want to spray probably a good, can't see it in the video, but probably a good 10 centimeters away from his head, just to make sure that all the particles are actually hitting him properly and actually being dry as well. So that's pretty much where I want to have it. Just a nice little light spray there, and probably just a little bit on his back as well. And there we go. Underneath. And that'll do it. Cool. So that's just your very, very basic undercoating. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section down below. If there is any questions on this particular box, all it is just a big cardboard box that I've cut open to be able to make it so that the spray doesn't go everywhere. Apart from that, I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to the feedback. Thank you.